Yeah, it's from our ability to think beyond our existence, right? Beyond our perceived existence. You have to like be able to realize that there's something more than what you're perceiving. When you there's like a level of, it's like a achievement unlocked where you say to yourself, no, everything that I see is not, there is something more to reality, right? Some people never do this. Some people live their entire life without ever doing this. But some people, that's like the thing about like God, where it's like, that's why it's a good thing to believe in God, even if it's like for a greater good for humanity, right? Even if there isn't a God, even if there is no God, if we all believed in God, we would be better off than if we all didn't. Because then at least we believe in a collective higher self. Where if what if there is no God and it's just the universe and we're all just living beings, but in that the universe has, within the cosmos and all of the creations of all things, that is what God is, right? So we can just simply believe in ourselves and believe in like our existence instead of believing in our own, like in our minds and our under, like, I don't know. I'm fucking getting so introspective now. Yeah, collective survival mechanism. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing that keeps us from, yes, so think about it, the death drive, right? Is that opposition from that collective survival mechanism. We've turned off that collective survival mechanism. That's what capitalism is, and that's what the God is dead. That's so if you think about it, like, I don't know if I explained this. I've talked about this many times before and other stuff, but when feudalism died, feudalism didn't just die, it died because the Catholic Church lost its institutionalized power because of the Reformation. The Reformation made it so that the Catholic Church no longer had legitimate power over nations, over like dominion over people, over kingdoms, because there was a social revolution where they were like, hey, did you know that the shit that's in this book might not actually be what's going on? Have you ever realized that? And people, that spread across the world, and that changed people's understanding of, hey, maybe there is more than what we've been told. And because of that, because of like, 1,000 years or 1,500 years of us being oriented towards institutionalized belief of God, that's all that we knew. So as soon as we separated ourselves from that, the blowback is what we're experiencing now. That blowback is only a short period of time, right? The blowback is like what we need to be able to advance to something better. And that's like very gaudy, but it's true. Because if you think about like the way that like social evolution works, or like the theory of social evolution, is that like we adapt over time and move towards a more collective like societal framework. That has been proven not to be totally true because most like anthropology has proven that like most non-colonized society adapts with nature. Sometimes they're very authoritarian, sometimes they're completely decentralized and have no authoritarian power. It all depends on the region, it all depends on what's needed to survive. It all depends on where, when, and why. That is that connection to the earth, which we used to, because like we needed that connection to earth to make sense of how we survived. And that's how like paganism was a thing, because we literally prayed to the sun that the sun would come up and give us food, right? And over time, literally because there was a challenge of what these cosmic forces meant, with like Christ showing up and saying, no, it's different, guys. So that like reoriented the way in which that we used to have like things like the Osiris cycle and stuff like that, where we were connected to this pagan ritual that everything was still connected to, like the cosmos. But then with Christendom made it so that we were still connected in that way, but just the symbolism changed, because Catholicism didn't. Catholicism is just paganism with the symbols changed to the pagan symbols changed to Christ symbols. That's all that it is. So that connection to the land that we had, because that we were connected to the earth and the need to for the sun to give us the energy and the crops, and so that our ability to survive was connected to our means in which the Mother Earth, the universe gave us our harvest, our the crops, the belief that this wasn't something that we were in control of. There's something else going on beyond us, because they knew this over time, because there's drought, and drought was sometimes unexplainable. So they were like, yeah, there's something else more than just like what we're perceiving. So that's kind of like how religion became a thing, is because they needed to like rationalize what the fuck is going on. Why can't we figure out how to do this planting thing so that we can survive all the time? Because they started to notice that it isn't reciprocal, like it isn't, they started to notice that it's not static. There's more to life, right? And that's how religion became a thing. And we just continuously externalized it into these other things, and it turned into power. That it just turned into, it's like, imagine it as